Now, ultimately, guess what? Abraham had to go one way, Lot had to go another. And perspective, they said, for the longevity of me and my lineage, I need to do what's best for me. I have to do what's best for me. And though Abraham and Sarah were patriarchs or matriarchs, whichever you want to call it, to bring forth change, they were hand-selected, hand-picked by God to bring forth a new nation. Spiritually minded individuals who would seek after God and grow in covenant relationship with Him and not just have a lip service. Because see, back in those days, it was more about, hey, I'm going to speak the word, but don't do as I do. Do as I say. But in reality, God wants us to follow the word. Do not only as I say, but do as I've done. And a lot of us are still falling short. Self-included, because I sin daily just like you. I'm still flesh and blood. But at the end of the day, if I can stand up and repent and say, Lord, forgive me for the sins I've committed. But you had a lot who didn't care. And he lived his life any kind of way. And in doing so, he entwined not just his life, but his wife and his kids, and even Abraham. Because they were connected. But when they disconnected, and God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, and he had to flee to the hills. When he had a choice of living in the hills the whole time. He had a choice to live in the hills the whole time. But instead, he wanted to entertain foolishness. I'll keep it clean. He wanted to entertain some things just for a little while. But see, he sat in sin a little too long. And because we know sin, when it gets on you, it's just stank. It's just good and black. And it ain't enough white marks and sometimes enough Clorox to really get it out. That's why you need the blood of Jesus. That's the only blood that'll cleanse you, purify you, and make you whole again. But he lost his God when he went in the sin city. He forgot where he came from because first he was living in a tent. And I can just about imagine, do you realize that from chapter to chapter, he got a little closer to the city to the point where he actually built a house in the city? Well, first you might have just entertained it for luxury, but now you're part of it and you fully judging sin for sin for sin. And that ain't what God wants. So if disconnection gives you a perspective of God's purpose and of your position in your person, let me ask you this. Do you think it gives you a perspective of your possessions? Yes. Because see, Lot went over to Sodom thinking, oh, prosper, materialistically, carnal mind thinking. But in reality, what he went and got, he lost. Even the things that he went with, he was wealthy before he went there. Even those things he lost. But Abraham on the other side, who's still humble, living in the wilderness like a nomad, going from place to place, true enough, but still serving the Lord. He was rich, beyond rich, because he followed the Lord in a voice to a place where he didn't know where he was going, to do some things that he wasn't quite sure of, even to the point of trying and almost sacrificing his own son. But even in that, God still sent him because he saw him as being righteous, a ram in the bush.
Yes, God. Yes, God.
He offered up nonetheless. And because of that, you are blessed. I didn't say just me. You too.
Right.
Because Jesus came through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That lineage. The one true God that we serve came through this lineage. Could you imagine if our God had to go through Lot? It might have been a lot different. This is what I'll leave with you. He don't only show us patience by making us wait, because Abraham and Sarah had to wait years for a child, the right child. the one child. Don't be mad about waiting. Don't be bad about the disconnect. Sometimes you wait long enough just for everything to line up right. But when God says so, it will be so.
Amen.
All it takes is one.
Yes.
All it takes is one. See, Abraham may have lived in a tent and hosted angels, trusted God, and had children to trust God because of him. But remember, Lot built a house in Sodom, became a judge between sinners, and had no testimony for God. He didn't even trust God's judgment or provision. But yet and still, he lost everything, and Abraham gained.
Come on.
Be careful who you are connected to.
That's good.
Be careful who you take with you. But most of all, remember that God cares for you, and he's made provisions for every moment in your life. So even the disconnects, whether it be family, friends, or associates, it can and will be ordained by the Lord.
Amen.
Remember, he will have his way, and he has the final say-so.
Amen.
So, for every Abraham, remember, there is a lot. And most of the time, there are more lots than there are Abraham.
Yes, God, work it.
My question for you, which one are you?
All
All
right.
right now. All
Or will
right
you
now.
be lots?
All right.